Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. Today our group will present on heavy metal and my name is Fatimah Hamid and I will present on beryllium. Okay, we go to the use of beryllium. Beryllium is used in alloy with copper, optical, nickel to make gyroscope, spring and so on. Next, it used in structural material for high-speed aircraft and airspace. And it is also used in X-ray, and lastly, it's also used in nuclear reactor. Next, the toxicity of beryllium. Okay, being exposed to beryllium-containing material may develop beryllium sensitization or chronic beryllium disease. Okay, the disease can affect different tissue and organ and may cause cancer to our cells. And lastly, it can cause skin sensitization. Next. Okay, biological indicator. Beryllium create the need of beryllium evolved in immune system. The onset of the beryllium sensitization by the development of beryllium specific adaptive immune system, typically detected by our blood T cell. That's all from me. I will pass to the next person.
Hi, my name is Zulaikha. Today I'm presenting about nickel. Okay, what is nickel? It is a transition metal that can be found in the crust of the earth. Okay, the use of nickel is manufactured for use in production such as alloys, steel manufacturing, electroplating, batteries, electronics, and other chemical uses. Okay, the use of nickel like engine turbine, rocket engine, stainless steel utensil, nickel silver coin, electroplating, and nickel cadmium battery. Okay, and then the toxicity, health effect. With too much of nickel, what can impact to our human body? Of course, nose cancer, larynx cancer, prostate cancer, sickness and dizziness, lung embolism, respiratory failure, birth defect, asthma, and chronic bronchitis. And then the last one is biological indicators or biomarkers of metal exposure. Can be differentiated of nickel to three things: urine test, blood test, and patch testing. Urine test to see the urine concentration, blood test to see will do the blood count, CBC, and patch testing to determine the allergic inflammation. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nurul Yusni with Suhaimi, and I will be presenting on cadmium. So, what is cadmium? Cadmium is a heavy metal of considerable toxicity with destructive impact on most of the organ system. So the use of cadmium, the major use in batteries, especially rechargeable nickel cadmium. The second one is used in alloy for bearing. The third one used in television, and the third one is used in electroplating. Moving on to the toxicity, the chief organ of toxic impact in the human is the kidney. The second one, impact vitamin D metabolism in the kidney with deleterious impact on bone will cause osteomalacia. The third one, stimulation of fibroblast growth factor 23, which induce phosphaturia and decrease phosphate uptake, leading to osteomalacia. And the fourth one, affect the cardiovascular system in several ways. And moving on to the biological indicator, there are three, which is blood cadmium, cadmium in urine, and cadmium in feces. Blood cadmium level do increase with exposure, where the increase mainly reflect on recent exposure. The second one is cadmium in urine. Most cadmium is reabsorbed in the proximal tubule, and tubular damage may cause the increased excretion observed. And the last one is cadmium in feces. People living in cadmium polluted area excreted significantly more cadmium in feces than in control population. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shaheera. So the widespread use of lead has led to contamination of environment, primarily the soil and water, and exposure of human to lead. So among the uses of lead is used as the manufacture of lead acid storage batteries, paint and covering on some wires and cable, and ammunition, that is production of bullets. So the lead will interfere with number of body function if being exposed in high level, affecting central nervous system, hematopoietic, hepatic, and renal system, mainly the possible tubule. Young children are more prone to can cause and cell parting in your children if being exposed in high level. Besides, the exposure of lead can be transferred to fetus during pregnancy if the mother are being exposed to lead. So the potential biomarker for lead poisoning is by doing the blood smear to detect the basophilic stimulants or red blood cell, and by doing the UFME to observe the abnormal excretion of glucose, phosphate, and amino acids in the urine.
Hi, my name is Nurul Hanim binti Zulkifli. Today I will talk about arsenic. Arsenic can be found in the groundwater as a result of weathering of rock and soil. The uses of arsenic is wood preservation and pesticide. Arsenic is well known for the ability to kill fungal, bacteria, and pesticide. Arsenic toxicity. The source of toxicity is from contaminated drinking water, seafood, geological source, mining, smelting, of agriculture. The effect of acute toxicity can lead to diarrhea, vomiting, clotting, abdominal pain. However, for chronic toxicity can cause arsenic to accumulate in the organs such as heart, kidney, lung, and nervous system. The biological indicator of metal exposure can be found in the urine and blood. They provide information on the recent exposure. By consuming contaminated seafood and water, the level of arsenic in the urine can be increased rapidly. However, it is invalid for total arsenic exposure because it can be rapidly excreted through urine. And the hair and nails are the most suitable indicator for total arsenic exposure. Arsenic deposited in nails and hair after 2 weeks. That's all.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Noor Atikah and I will proceed with mercury. Mercury is a heavy metal that is known for its toxicity. It was commonly used in batteries, lights, barometers, thermometers, and also dental anagram. Mercury toxicity exposure to humans. The sources are from outgassing of mercury from the dental amalgam, ingestion of contaminated fish, or occupational exposure. Mercury in all forms can poison the cellular function by altering the tertiary and quaternary structure of protein and by binding the bisulfohydryl and selenohydryl groups. Mercury also can easily pass the blood-brain barrier and accumulates in the brain. So, the central nervous system are the most affected due to mercury toxicity. It can impair the functions of the CNS and leads to the sensory and motor nerve defects. In severe cases, it can lead to blindness, deafness, and also coma. Next. Biological indicator of mercury is mercury in urine, which is mostly used. Mercury, the value calculated were found to be well correlated with the environmental concentration. However, the indicator does not reflect the dose in the critical organs such as the central nervous system. Currently, the biological exposure index for mercury in urine is 50 microgram per liter as stated by US Federal. Thank you, that's all from me.
I'll move on with chromium. So as you can see, the uses of chromium, there are 4 uses of chromium. First of all, it is used for hardening of steel, such as stainless steel. And then following by chromium plating, which is used for plating of car. Leather tanning, however, is toxic, therefore is replaced with vegetable tanning. And also there is chromium pigmentation for yellow, green, and orange color. So moving on to toxicity. The site of exposure is when chromium 3 is actually not absorbed in any route. However, the toxicity only increases when there is chromium 6 form, which is easily absorbed through respiration, gastrointestinal tract, and intake of skin. Mechanism of action is when chromium 6 is severe toxicity if it's taken nearby target cells, regarding reducing in hydrogen peroxide and glutan to form reactive intermediates that affect DNA, plasma, or cell functions, which eventually leads to lung defect, heart defect, stomach defect, intestinal defect, and skin defects. Moving on to biological indicator or biological markers. So chromium 3 is actually essential elements in our body and can be found in the blood. However, exceeding a certain amount can be toxic. So all this toxicity can be found in blood, urine, expired air, hair, and nails for individuals who are highly exposed to it. So in general population, in terms of serum, it's between 0.10 to 0.16 microgram, and in urine, it's usually 0.22 microgram per liter. That's all. Thank you.